Welcome back to tonight's Saturday Rowdy. I'm playing a game called Microtransaction Simulator, which is, I think, supposed to be kind of a parody on the way we just kind of open up things in games that have arbitrary costs associated with them. And I was thinking about my life earlier, as I tend to do on this channel, and I was like, this is actually kind of let's put some perspective on life here for a second. So my boss walks in after vacation for like probably about a week or so today, and he sees me on my phone and doesn't really say anything about it, but he's kind of hanging out. It's funny too because he's probably one of the most perceptive people I know. First thing he points out, he's like, "Hey, those new shoes, they look nice," and I'm like, "Yeah, they're pretty cool, like them." Even though I've got a really bad blister on one of my feet from one of them, that's probably going to keep getting worse. Which funny enough, I literally had to buy larger socks just to prevent that from happening. But the thing I find interesting is what's called perceived value versus true value. Like take this game for a second. You open up a bunch of cards. Each card pack has a what is it? How much money per? I think it's variable. I'm not entirely sure. I tried to do some quick math and then I realized, oh hey, it's like almost 1 in the morning, so probably not a good idea to do math at this point. And the part of the story I didn't tell you there was the moment my boss came in. That was the one moment I actually checked like Discord, just checking with my friends, whatever stuff. But the entire rest of the morning, so boring. I tried my absolute best to keep myself busy though. I straightened up everything I could possibly do on the front end. So I'm a cashier, but I can do a little bit more than that, like refilling the fridge, wiping down the counter so the glass looks all nice and neat. Restocking some stuff, making sure the candy isn't like shoved to the back of the displays, tidying up glasses, etc., doing the entirety of replenishment from last night, or at least the apparel side of it. Um, but it's kind of funny because you have this one glimpse into someone's life, and you're like, "Oh, he's working on his phone," you know. And I feel like first impressions do matter because sometimes that's all you get with some people, you know. But I guess it only really matters if those people are as judgmental as I am or as I can be. Trust me, I know. Uh, the point I'm trying to make here, though, is in this story, obviously, there's the audience being my boss who comes in and sees me on my phone for a minute and doesn't say anything about it, but he's probably chilling with it anyways because I still get credit cards out the wazoo. Um, there's me who knows a little bit more than he does, and then there's the YouTube audience now, which knows a lot more than I guess both of us, if you consider meta commentary, meta analysis to be knowing more than the narrator in a way. Um, that was a lot, and it's 2 in the morning, so super deep thoughts here right now. Where was I going with that? I'm tired. I'm clicking buttons as fast as I can. Um, I'm already kind of more or less 100% of this game. I just have a few achievements left that I'm like, I can go get those achievements if I feel like it, or I can sit here and just click the same buttons over and over again. I feel like too sometimes the framing on a story matters a lot. Like if you tell a story depending on the tone you give it, that very much can change the I guess the portrayal of the story too. And I feel like the same kind of goes for people. And for like granted for what it's worth, I'm so lucky to be in the position I have and I have been. And that same thing goes even for all the moments I complain in between everything else going on in life. But I guess it's just funny to consider all that. So I'm probably gonna keep it kind of brief tonight. I'm tired. I have other things I do want to do still. Unfortunately, I'm just procrastinating. And actually, I remember the other thing I was gonna say tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and maybe spend another minute or two. Um, Perceived value. Sometimes this applies to other people too. I used to joke that people are like an investment, but you're never gonna get your money back on people. Depends on how much money you spend on them, obviously, and what you consider be getting your money back. But I always consider it to be a good thing to invest in people, even if from a business perspective you're like, this wasn't worth it. You know, I believe in God. I believe in a great big world out there. I believe in something good beating something evil. Hopefully, even there's a lot of evil in life, admittedly. And I guess kind of the deeper truth of that is, lately, anyways, I've found it that a lot of people had invested in me, and I'd been super happy, and I'd invested in a lot of people back, and I mean, not monetarily, of course, more just like, hey, this is a friend. I feel like looking at a friend as an investment is kind of a weird way of putting it, but from a business perspective, anyways, that's probably how I think a lot of corporations view people. And same thing with customers, funny enough, too. I was actually talking to one of my coworkers today. We were like, most customers like leave stuff around the store, trash it, whatever. And I'm like, if this was their house, they probably wouldn't treat it that way. And I feel like everyone has the mentality of like, screw corporations, we hate these things. And then most of the time they say that, they still buy things from the corporation. And then most of the time that hatred ends up on the backs of other employees who have to deal with it. So, it's a matter of perspective. It's a perceived value statement, whatever. You have your theoretical mathematics, you have your actual mathematics, chaos theory, something like that. If you could predict every variable in a equation, I guess you'd know how the entire thing operates. But if you have a few hidden variables that create something extraneous, you would never know the answer. All that said, this video has been a nice fortune cookie to read. Your lucky numbers today are 1, 3, 13, and 27. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night. Thanks for watching.